Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of my podcast. And today I'm going to be talking about something I experience quite frequently, I would say. And honestly, I'm kind of feeling it like today and like this whole week. And it's to do with being like very unmotivated and very overwhelmed. And I think a lot of people can relate it to feeling like burnout and stuff. And I get this very often also, like the feeling of feeling so overwhelmed that I cannot really like do anything, to the point where I'm just like sitting in my room and crying about all the things that I need to do. And this happens often. So I may not be the best person to talk about this to a certain extent, but I feel like I just want to share how I go through it and like why it's okay sometimes, and maybe y'all can relate to it in a certain way and maybe it'll help you. But yeah, and I feel that like okay, it I feel that it's a combination of a lot of things. So for example, when you talk about, like, I think everyone has told me once in their life, right, that wow, I fucking say I don't want to do this anymore, like, I don't want to work anymore. I feel that this is something at least y'all have said it once in your life, okay, or like maybe more than once in your life. Like you just like at work, I don't do this already lah, like walao like you are damn done with like life and stuff. And I think it's only natural because like sometimes when you're spending so much time in your life doing work or doing a job that you may not be like the most invested in and stuff, right? You can feel very like tired by it and just wondering whether it's even worth doing. So this video is for you guys in a way. And for me, I think it's like when I feel very unmotivated in work, it leads me to doing a lot of procrastination because I am a serial procrastinator, okay? And I'll talk about this more in another video if I want to, I guess. But it's to the point where like I'm really doing everything last minute, okay? So when it happens to be like that, right, then I eventually get very overwhelmed at the end of it because I'm like, oh my god, I have like 20 things I need to do and only like 2 hours to do 20 things. Then you're just like, what the hell am I doing in my life? And moments where things like that happen, right, I just feel like so overwhelmed to the point where I cannot even like focus, and I'll just like not even try to even do anything in the first place. Yeah, which is not a good thing. And I think also in my job now, right, like for me, I'm considered like a freelancer in a way. So because I do content creation in my own time, the discipline is very much up to me, and it's not up to like a company or like my boss or whoever to like dictate and be like, hey, you need to submit this deadline by this day. Of course I have like client work and everything that I need to submit according to deadlines, but a lot of my organic work and things that I want to do on my own goals, right, like sometimes I'm just like, I just don't do this today lor, I do tomorrow. Then like it will just push and push and push and push to the point where I'm like, oh my god, am I ever gonna do this video, or this video is like 5 months late already, am I still gonna upload this video? Shout out to my Korea vlogs, which until now I haven't finished uploading. So it's just a clear example of like how I have like let it affect me in my life lah. Yeah, and sadly it's always gonna be this way for me because I feel that I'm not someone who is the best at being disciplined. And I think just managing myself is already something that I struggle with a lot. Like, cause I like doing a lot of things. As a person, I really have so many interests and I have so many things I want to do. So it doesn't help that I'm not like focused and like, okay, you need to sit down and do this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things at one go. You're like, I'm just like, oh, I need to do like la 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 la. Then I do all the trivial things. Then in the end, the important things that I will just never do. But anyway, in this video, just take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. I feel like a tarot card reader when I say that. But yeah, hopefully it helps in a certain way. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the 2 different types of feelings that I usually feel, which is like unmotivation and also like being very very overwhelmed. So for example, like I think feeling very unmotivated, it comes to you when you feel that whatever you're doing doesn't seem to have a purpose, or like you're not really achieving your goals in the way you want to. And then for example, you're just wondering whether like life is meaningful, you know what I mean? Like it could not just be in work, it could be like life goals also. It's like, are you doing like things that are meaningful to you? Like do you find value in like whatever you're doing? And sometimes if you don't, right, you could just be very like, why am I doing this in the first place kind of like vibe. And the other aspect of it is being very overwhelmed by having to do a lot of things, or having a lot of decisions to make, maybe like just doing a lot of tasks, having a lot of decisions to make, feeling like you have so much that you want to do but no time to achieve it. Then just completely just wanting to give up at that moment, is like kind of feeling overwhelmed, I guess. And I get that a lot lah. So I'll talk a bit about it later. And I feel that a lot of my, sometimes moments where I break down, I'm like always just in my room, like crying to myself and being like, oh my God, life is so hard. Like, okay, no, that's a bit dramatic, but like moments where you let yourself feel emotional because of like all the stuff that you're worrying about. I feel that a lot of my own worries stem from the fact that I'm like disappointing people, or maybe like not living up to other people's expectations of me, and even worse, like just not living up to my expectations of myself, because I know myself well enough, and I know like, okay, I know I can do this. Like, for example, doing this podcast, you know what I mean? Like, I know I can do this and I want to do this, or even like doing an interview series that I want to do. But I'm like, do I have the energy and like the ability to sit down and really focus on doing it and getting it done? Is another story. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's one thing to say like I can do it, and another thing to put your mind and your entire being into doing it. And I feel like I really respect people who are like entrepreneurs, or people who just like I have friends who really churn out content every single day, who like do that while doing like streams, while like even doing YouTube videos, while like pursuing like 1,000 other events that they're going for, hosting things, and they're all doing this like, and I look at them and I'm just like, oh my God, like, how are y'all doing this? Okay, y'all are crazy people, but I love that and I respect that a lot. Yeah, but sometimes when you see people do all these things, then you look at yourself and you feel like, oh my God, am I even doing enough? Like, why is it that all of these people can achieve so much, but for myself, like I can't even reach that level? So I think it's very natural to only compare to people who you see as doing much better than you lah. Yeah, so I think I will talk a bit about like feeling that way first, like the feeling, like that overwhelming feeling very often. And I'm really still struggling to deal with this. And you would think that with my job being like content creator, influencer, whatever it is, right? Like people would be like, she got so much time, what? She can just the whole day, she don't even need to go office, she can go out every single day or whatever. I'm like, yes, I agree. But I was just speaking to my producers before this. I'm like, a lot of people perceive this to be an easy job. And I'm like, I'm not denying that it's easy. In retrospect of everything, like I am just making videos and uploading it to like TikTok or IG or whatever it is. But I think it's more so about having the constant feeling of working. Like for me, I'm working at least, well, not 24/7. So when I'm sleeping, I'm not working, right? But like all the other hours where I'm not sleeping, I'm usually working, because it's like, oh, anything can be content. I can upload anything at any point in time. Like even if I go for events after that, I'm like, oh, I still need to film this. I need to edit this video. I need to like reply emails or whatever, right? And it always like ends up extending to like really, really late hours. Because there's just so much to do. In this job, there's like so many opportunities and so many things to do, and you don't want to miss out on the opportunities. Like it's a bit like FOMO kind of thing. Like for me, like I don't want to miss out on going to events that could potentially lead to like, oh, maybe I could work with this brand in the future, especially like brands I really, really love. Like I wouldn't want to give up the opportunity to go, because like, what if they just never invite me again? What if they don't want to work with me? What if they have a bad impression of me? There's all these like fears and concerns. And I know this may not be the most relevant to y'all if y'all don't work in this industry, but take it as like, fear of missing out on opportunities for yourself. And then that's why you like pile like a lot of pressure on yourself to like take everything that comes your way. And then you just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like for even at your job, like your boss tell you to, okay, can you handle this new project? And you're like, okay, what if I handle this and I get a promotion out of it? Or what if they respect me? What if my bonus increases because of it? Like in our culture, I feel like there's always this aspect of like, you do more, you'll get rewarded with more things, And sometimes it's true, and I feel like, okay, a lot of times it's true. Like people really reward other people for going above and beyond. That's why it's not necessarily a good thing. Like this OT culture, like companies like expect you to stay back to do your job. And while like sometimes you need to maintain boundaries, like you need to maintain that 9 to 6 boundary, right? But you see other people who stay late, and then like they get benefits of like, oh, getting a promotion, or potentially like getting higher pay in the future and stuff like that. So because our culture or like our society rewards people for over exerting themselves, then you feel like, oh, you also need to do this in order to kind of like succeed in a way, and not miss out on chances that potentially could go to someone else, right? And I don't get me wrong, I love doing my job. I love having the opportunity to meet so many people and really live a life that last time I would never thought I would have to like get to live. You know what I mean? Like I only see this in like other influencers like celebrities, people online. I didn't think it would be accessible to me. So having been able to experience this, is something I'm very, very grateful for. But at the end of the day, like you do feel very socially and mentally exhausted like when you reach home. And I think even if you are at a workplace or so, imagine if you're always overexerting yourself, that you definitely lead you to English, sorry, lead you to feeling very drained at the end of the day. Especially, imagine you end your work at 10 p.m. every single day. Like, you don't even have time to socialize with your friends. You don't even have time to, like, spend quality time with yourself. Like, you need, like, time for yourself also to recuperate, right? Like, even my sister, she's like, no, I'm 9 to 6. Like, after that, I'm come home, I'm going to be in my bed. Like, don't disturb me, don't talk to me. I need my me time. And that is, like, really setting boundaries for yourself. But, it doesn't always like work out that way lah. So it's natural to really feel overwhelmed and feel like, oh my god, like there's so many things you have to do to get done and you don't have time to do it. I think a result of, when you feel very overwhelmed also is because you feel like you overcompensate, like you literally agreed to do so many things, right? Then you cannot deliver. Like this is something I always feel, because I feel like I'm like, yes, I can go to this, I can go to that, or whatever. Then at the end of the day, right, I'm like, oh my god, I haven't posted like 20 things that I need to post. And it's not expected of me to post sometimes. I get it. Like, they invite me to the thing. They're not like, okay, you need to like post like 20 IG stories or whatever. Or you need to post like a whole ass like content deliverable just for going for an event. Like, it's not expected of me. But when you see other people do it, then I'm like, oh my god, they do, so like, should I do also? Like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. And then I worry about all the things I haven't posted yet. And then like, because you fear that like they may think of you as like, oh, this person don't want to like post for us, or this person don't want to give us what we wanted, or are not giving us up to the expectation of what we want, then like you have this like irrational fear that you like, okay, I need to do it. Then you will just force yourself to do it. But you'll be very unhappy doing it like in a way. Then like put it in a workplace perspective, right? Like your boss asks you to do like 3 projects and you're like, do I have time to do 3 projects? I mean, yeah, if I sacrifice my sleep and I just don't work 24/7, and then you're like, okay, I can do it. I can work. I can do all this work. I can finish it within a deadline. But then when it boils down to you doing your work, right, and then you're doing it, then you realize like, oh, this is not the best work that you can produce. Like, it's not even something that you're proud of when you're like giving it to your boss or whatever. Or you're not even doing it to the full capacity that you have, right? Then wouldn't you feel like very disappointed in it? Like, I would feel very disappointed in myself that I'm not living up to like what I promised someone that I would do. Yeah, or even like you give like a half-up kind of work to your boss, right? Then wouldn't they like see it as like, why this person like give me this? You know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of consequences of your actions, right? That you may feel very worried about. Like, so you just push yourself to, try your best to do everything at once. But at the end of the day, like, you must really think about whether all these choices are worth sacrificing your mental health for. Because, like for me, right, I learned it like the hard way in a sense lah. Because I really feel that I'm someone who overworks myself to the point where like I only rest when I'm sick, which is not a good thing. Like in my previous job, like I used to like everything also work lor. Then I also exert myself after work. So like I work and then I socialize. So the thing I sacrifice on is like my sleep or like my personal time. So I feel that because I do all these things, right, and then at the end of the day I fall sick. Then I fall sick for like 2-3 days. Then I feel so guilty like for falling sick for 3 days. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not even able to help my team because I'm like sick for like 3 days. Then like it's a constant cycle of making yourself feel bad but still taking on so many things in a way. Yeah, so I've learned this the hard way in a sense to really like prioritize what is important, especially now in my job, right? I really pick and choose like the things that I want to go for. Like I really cannot say yes to everything. And at the end of the day, I tell myself like, okay, you know what, if I really don't say yes to this, and if they really don't want to invite me for anything in the future, they don't want to work with me in the future, right, then okay, it's like, it's their loss lor. Like, like, I mean, maybe they could find someone better than me. Like, I'm not the best option for them. And it's really okay, because you cannot take on every single opportunity. Like, it's not physically possible to like do everything. Like, as a human being, you are literally human. You cannot take on everything, okay? And it brings me to my next point, which is that people in our society are also people pleasers. Like, it's very hard for people to say no to things. I mean, I feel like I'm someone who can already say no better, but like I know so many of my friends who like really they tell me like, okay lor, like they ask me to do like that, then I just do lor, like never mind. But like, why? Just say no for your own sake. I think it's very important to know when you need to say no for yourself. Like, and you have to cultivate this habit of not just like appeasing people around you just because like they like, hey, please lah. Like, just say no, it's okay one. I also feel like sometimes if I can do something for someone and it makes them feel happy, like I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But you cannot do it at the expense of your own happiness, in a sense, you know? Like, do it because you really have the capacity to do it. When you don't have the capacity already, you're at your limit already, you need to understand like, it's okay to reject this, and in future there are potentially opportunities that could come for you. Like there's the saying that people always say on TikTok, like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, or like, you know, if it's meant to happen, then it will happen sometime again in the future, you know? Like, you don't need to force circumstances to make it happen for yourself. So trust the process, everybody. And moving on to the other kind of element of like this burnout, right, is maybe feeling very unmotivated. And I think it could be in like your career or in like life goals in general. But you know, I also had this period, like last time when I was working for a company, like, and then I worked for like 5 years and stuff, right? I had so many moments where I was like, am I even being paid enough to do this? Like, genuine question, like, is this even worth it to continue down this kind of road? Because sometimes the lack of motivation also stems from the fact that like you're putting in so much effort to do something, right? But you don't see like the fruits of your labor in a way. Like, imagine you every day, like you go and build a fucking house every day, right? Then you every day like put in effort to build a house, spend so much time building this house, okay? Then you build it, it's like so freaking nice. You're an architecture student, you build this house so nice, right? But then nobody see your house. Like, you build it in a place, right, where nobody walk by, nobody even comment about your house, nobody even say like one nice thing about your house. Then you're like, I built this house until so nice, but nobody even like looked at it. Like, that kind of feeling lah, you know. I don't know whether it's the best analogy, but that's what I'm trying to kind of say. Like, maybe all your efforts, no one like is recognizing your efforts, you know. It will of course lead you to feeling very demotivated to do your job or do your work. And I think I felt that a lot in my previous job. Like, I was really trying my best to work very hard to achieve this goal for like the brand, for the company and stuff, but maybe I wasn't recognized enough, you know, like for the efforts that I put in. And I think it's only normal that this happens in many companies, because sometimes like people at the top, they don't really see like the little efforts that people are putting in on the daily to get things like done, or like the amount of hours and time they spend to, you know, really like, you know, get a project through to the end, for example, and then you're rewarded with like, okay, good job. Like, it's really good job enough for all the freaking hours that you sacrificed in putting into this. Yeah. And I think like it's also difficult when the work you're doing may not add value to your life, like I mentioned earlier on in the video. Like, if you're I feel like personally I'm someone, right, that I cannot work in a job where I don't at least feel 50%, you know, committed to it, or 50% I'm like, okay, I kind of like this job like to a 50% level. Like, if you only like your job 10%, right, like I really don't know how you stay in your job. Like, I respect you for doing it, because maybe some people, it's like, it's really for the money, you know what I mean? And also I understand this is me coming from a point of view of saying like I can only work in a job that I really feel passionate about, like to a certain extent, right? It's also a point of privilege, because there are some people who cannot, you know, have this opportunity to work in jobs that they really want to do, so they have to just do whatever comes their way. Like, I 100% get it. So like, I think that if I'm more so like, this is more so directed to people who have a choice, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you choose to stay in it for the money, for example, the company is like paying you a lot of money, but you're very unhappy in your job, right? Then I also don't know like whether this is the most valuable thing that you can bring to your life at that point in time, because like your job takes up like, let's say it's a 9 to 6, like Monday to Friday, right? That's like what, 60%, 70% of your life. I don't know, my math is not very accurate, but like it's quite a big percentage of your life, and you're going to be in a job for most of your life, right? So why do you want to feel unhappy 70% of the time? That's my logic lah. Like, of course you have no choice. Like, sometimes it's like last time when I was younger, I got no choice. I need to work in jobs that like, whatever jobs that will take me. Like, even though it's like, you know, like hard labor and stuff like that, I go and like work like long hours on the retail floor, stand the whole day, that kind of thing or whatever. Like, it's like, I have no choice, just do like, because you got to do it for the money and stuff like that. Like, I really understand. So I'm not discrediting people who have no choice but to do this. But this is for the people who when I talk to them, then they tell me like, oh, I'm so unhappy with my job, but I'm earning like 5 digits, but I'm like so unhappy. Then I'm just like, then don't complain. Like, you choose to be in this job, you know. Like, I think it's important to know, like, that if something doesn't bring value to your life, right, then you can always make a decision to do something else about it. Like, sometimes it's not just about the money, but I know it's a lot about the money. But sometimes if it's too much about the money, then you sacrifice a lot of like your own well-being for it in a way. Yeah. And I think also, right, I think also in jobs where you feel like you're just working for the money, you feel very unfulfilled, then you go through like this, it's like what's it called, like a whole routine in life, right, where you just wake up, go to work, go back home from work, get so tired from work that you just sleep, and then you wake up and do the same thing again. And then on the weekends, you just stay at home because you don't even want to leave your house. Like, in life, there's so much more to experience. Like, genuinely, I believe that it's not just about, you know, sitting at your desk like the whole day. Like, it's about building connections with people, like relationships with people, like going out to try new things and stuff like that. And if you are one of those people who's very unhappy right now, like, this is my sign, I'm telling you right now, okay? Like, it's okay. Like, go and try to do other things. Like, make an effort to do other things, to find some motivation in life to like live, like, you know, find some motivation to do other things in life that you can live for, in a sense. And what's it called? Because I really see, like, in my friends sometimes also, right, like when they are at a job where it really sucks the life out of them, right, like, wow, even when I meet them in person also, right, I meet them like once a freaking year or something like that, they are just so drained. And like, I'm just like, guys, you know, there are so many other things that you can do. Like, just try to do other things, you know. Life is too short to be unhappy. It's really too short to be unhappy. And you have all this money, but you don't spend the money, then you're unhappy and rich. Like, what? For what? For me, it's like, really for what, you know? Yeah, but okay, but anyway, to disclaimer, everyone has their own rationale on what they want to do. And this is my personal kind of like point of view, in a sense. Like, if you believe like this is what you want to do, then go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, this is just something that I'm trying to encourage more people to do also, to really like not be so stressed out and enjoy life to a certain extent, and find motivation in life to really like, what motivation in life? Find something that you really would motivate you to, you know, go on in life, in a sense that it's not entirely your job, you know. But at the end of the day, right, because this is such a common sentiment to feel, you know, very unmotivated at certain points in your life, right? And it's really just like, sometimes you just have to get through it also, because like, work is really work, and everyone needs to work in their life to, you know, earn money, to live, to like, you know, sustain their lifestyle and everything. So depending on how much it's affecting you, right, sometimes you just got to get through that moment also, because it could just be you being over dramatic, or even me being over dramatic. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm so done, but the next day I'm like, okay, fine, I'm okay now. So you just need to find it in yourself to like get over this hurdle at one point in time. And sometimes looking to doing other things aside from work, like looking forward to doing other things aside from work, will really help you to get over that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So speaking of finding joy outside of work, right, for me, like, things that really keep me motivated to like want to do new things, right, is simply my hobbies. Like, I personally like K-pop, as you all know, based on my 1,000 previous videos. But also, like, I have other simple things that I really like. I like gaming with my friends. Like, I enjoy like shopping. I enjoy also like traveling. I think a lot of Singaporeans like go to like mode of distraction is traveling, which is great. Like, please continue to do it, because like, I feel that at least there's some thing that you can be like, oh, okay, I'm going to like Japan next month, or like, oh, okay, I'm planning for this like really exciting like long trip that I want to go for. And traveling is a very, very easy escape, but it's also a very temporary escape. Like, you cannot always fly out of the country. You have limited leaves per year, right? You cannot always be flying like every single weekend and stuff. Even though I know like my friends, like some of them like really fly all the time. I'm like, damn, y'all got full-time job, but you can really fly so much. Like, okay, good for you, you know. But what I would encourage people to do is that if you really need a break or whatever, right, just take a sabbatical. Like, I think that last time in my job, they allow us to do that, right? And it really, really helped. Like, when I see people come back from their sabbatical, they really look like more alive. Like, so I think having a longer break, not just like a 1 week holiday break, because you feel like you are rushing through your holiday and stuff, like having a whole like month and a half, 2 months to really like relax and not have to worry about job security, right, is something that, you know, if your company allows, right, you should at least try once. Like, don't really life is too short to be like working every single day. Like you can have that 2 month break. Like I'm telling you now, it's okay. Like I'm sure you work hard enough to like fund yourself for like 2 months. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that is something that I will encourage people to do. But for the people who can't, who may not have that many like leaves, right? Like finding hobbies and things that can keep you grounded like while you're sane in Singapore, right? Like it is very, very important. Like even working out, like I used to really hate going to the gym. Like I never understood why people go to the gym. But actually when I go and I realize like because I have a PT now lah, so I got like some encouragement. You know, I paying money already, so I need to go to the gym. Yeah, and when you go there, you feel like very like wow, your it's like an endorphin rush. You know what I mean? And it's all these like really really small things that can contribute to like improving like the well-being of yourself. In a way where it doesn't just involve spending money and going to another country lah. Yeah. And because right, when you do this, you feel like so much more refreshed after you take a break. Like or when you have activities that you really enjoy that can keep you motivated, right? You don't have like this very negative feeling about you that maybe could translate to like the people around you. Because if you feel so negative all the time and feel like so demotivated all the time, right? Like it really rubs off onto people also. And then you also don't enjoy like your experiences with people or like your relationships with people well enough. Like you may just take it for granted in a way lah. Yeah, so that's something that I feel that if you are in a positive space, it will really help you overall be more positive in life. But you have to make the efforts to be in a positive space. You cannot just be like, oh, life sucks, like it sucks because I need to work. Like yeah, everybody needs to work, but it's about how you cope with it and how you like do other things aside from work that can help you like get through like tough times during work lah, of that kind of like unmotivated feelings, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think for me, I don't really get the feeling of like lack of motivation because I'm someone who like really has so many goals in my life where I really want to achieve all these things on a regular basis. And I get more overwhelmed than unmotivated because that's just in my nature lah. But I feel like the lack of motivation comes from sometimes I get it when I feel like I put in a lot of effort into something and it doesn't show me like the results that I want. I feel like I'm quite a results driven person, and I think most people, maybe not most people, but a lot of people are very results driven in this kind of like society. I think Singapore has literally taught us to be very results driven because when we were younger, it's like everything's about academics, everything about scoring the best grades. Like, you know, like if you do well, you go to uni, you go do well in uni, you get a great job with like great money and stuff like that. It's always like very focused on that rather than intangible aspects like human elements, you know what I mean? So since I feel that I am a very results oriented person, when my results don't show, for example, like it's just like stupid things, like I make like a good TikTok video that I'm really proud of. Like I'm like, okay, I made this vlog and I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed filming it, I enjoyed making it. I put so much effort into it, and then like the views, like it's like meh, that kind of thing. It's like not what I expect it to be. Then I'll feel disappointed in myself. So especially in my career now, right, a lot of things is very results driven. It's like all about engagement. It's all about like who likes your photo and like blah blah blah, and how many people give you validation on the internet, like sadly. And I try not to let it affect me, but I think it will work the same for everyone. But you put in so much effort into a project, but like you see your manager don't recognize it, or they're just like, okay, thanks, that kind of thing. Like it's very disheartening in a way also, because you feel like, oh my god, you do all this for what, you know? And yeah, and then I sit in my room and cry a lot. I'm just like, oh my god, why am I in this job? Like I always complain to my partner. I'm like, why am I in this job? Nobody cares about me. I don't fucking do this video. I do also like nobody watch my video. Like always complaining these kind of things, because like sometimes it really, really feels that way. And especially because like for me, it's like there's so many other people who could do the same thing as me. Like, you know, I'm not, what makes me so special that I can do it better than other people. And it could be the same for you too. Like in your job or in your work or in life, you're like, what makes me special enough that like my boss will choose me over someone else? Or, you know, like someone will hand me a better opportunity than someone else because like, am I even doing enough to deserve this opportunity, for example, right? And I know I cannot let it affect me, but at times it really does lah. Like the number of times I cry over this is I cannot even count on my hand. It's like very dramatic, I know. But at the end of the day, I have to tell myself that like, what am I doing? Like, is it a long-term goal? Like, is this something I want to build over time? Or do I just want like short, very fast like results? You know what I mean? Like, do I really want to just be in this to only see the results, or do I really want to build a relationship with like the community that watches me? Do I really want to like put out like value adding content to people, and do I really want to give people like something that it's not just like hee ha ha, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I want to give people things that they will really enjoy watching, and you know, we can relate in a certain level. That's why I think podcast is something that I was very, very passionate about doing. And I want people to like, okay, when people watch my videos or whatever it is, right, I don't want it to just be like I know this deep down, I don't need to just be like a very viral video and then they forget about me the next day. Or like, I don't want to be known as, you know what I mean? Like nowadays viral videos, right? It's very easy to just be like stupid on camera or do stupid things, right? And then you can get views and numbers. It's very, very easy because that's how entertainment works. That's how like what like the entire industry works, right? If it's a viral video, it's because something is like damn stupid, damn controversial, like it's like someone embarrassing themselves, for example, or it could be something just very, very unique, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I could turn into a comedian. Like sometimes I tell myself maybe I should just be like embarrass myself more, or like, you know, like whine about things more, complain about things more, like just rant about things on the internet. Maybe people like to listen to these kind of things, you know. But is that really me as a person? I'm like, no lah, I don't think that's me, and I don't want to do things for the sake of doing it. So when it comes to your work also, like just don't do it for the sake of doing it. Do it because like you really want to do it and you're motivated by it, and you're like it makes a difference in your life lah if you're doing something. You know what I mean? That's the point of this. Yeah. I just want to summarize and end off like this entire part with something that I saw on my friend's Instagram page. Like her name is Kristen, and she posted a video the other day. Like it just popped up on the day when I was feeling like super down. Like I was just like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore kind of vibes. And then she posted it and she was like, okay, if you're feeling very like burnt out, you're feeling like unmotivated and stuff like that, right? Like it's okay to take a break, because at the end of the day, right, will your future self thank you for continuing on this role? I think so, because like if you stop now, right, like all your efforts in the past will be like for nothing. You know what I mean? Like you must also look back and see how much you have grown as a person, and you must remind yourself that like these are all these things that you have achieved already. You know what I mean? Like you cannot just discount all these things that you have done that have helped you along this way. So like if you give up now, like your future self will be like, oh, you have nothing to work for anymore because you just like threw it all away. Yeah, and it's really okay to take a break for yourself and to come back again later when you're feeling like, oh, you know, you have more energy to focus into this, like you're not feeling so negative all the time, and then you can put all that like new energy into whatever you're doing and achieve what you set out to do lah. Yeah, and I thought that was like something where I thought it's a very simple thing to say, and it's very like easier said than done kind of thing, but sometimes you just need to hear it, you know, like that's why I'm making this video. It's like sometimes you just need to hear that I could potentially have a similar experience to you, even though our industries are completely different, even though my life is like completely different from yours. Like we still can feel the same things in our own way. Like maybe you will think mine is more trivial than yours, for example. Yeah, sure, like definitely. And I do think sometimes mine could be potentially more trivial than other people's. But we cannot like invalidate our feelings that we have. You know what I mean? We cannot invalidate that like we'll still feel down no matter how like you may think it's not as important as yours, or like how we compare our different jobs and stuff like that. If someone is feeling like low and stuff like that, you cannot discount that feeling. You know what I mean? You cannot invalidate your own feelings. So this video is more to tell you guys like that it's okay that this happens, and you know you can always achieve something in the future if you like you put your mind to it. You just need to like prioritize yourself and like set out the time to take a break when you need to, you know, in a sense. Yeah, giving you the motivation. Okay, ganbatte, everybody, we can do this. Yeah, and everyone is going through their own struggles lah. So we all have to work hard to get through them. But for example, if you're doing a project, you're like, okay, you know, maybe this isn't working out for me. You've exhausted all your options. You're really like, I tried everything already and it's still not working out. It's still not seeing success. It's still not seeing growth. Then yeah, maybe it's time to move on and reevaluate and do something new or do something else about it. Like you cannot, it's also the same thing. You cannot always just work. Like someone said this, it's like a sunk cost mentality. Like you already invest so much into it, then like there's no point in like like you shouldn't give up on it. But yeah, to a certain extent that's true, but also you cannot just keep doing something that you know is not going anywhere also. You must tell yourself that you must know when to give up, when to rework something, when to move on in life. Like businesses don't succeed by just being the way they are like 20 years ago, right? Like you have to constantly evaluate and like reinvent yourself. So if something is really not working out for you, take a time to like think about it and be like, okay, like what else can I do different? Or if your life goal was to always be like a nurse, for example, but you're really very unhappy to being in the industry now, like maybe think about like, oh, is this really what you want to do? Maybe you can think about a career change, maybe try something new, learn a new skill, for example. Yeah, things like that. For me, it's like, oh, change my content, try some new content or whatever, lor. I don't know, like, you know, just giving you all some examples. I wrote this 5 my points and it's in caps. It's like, you cannot be toxic to yourself. It's really like, even my producer laughed at me. I'm like, yeah, it's true. Because like, legit, you have to give credit to yourself also. Like, really in Singapore, like, our culture is so fucking toxic already. Like, the work culture is so toxic already. Like, we are really always pressured to like do better and better and better and better and better and better. You know what I mean? So like, you really cannot succumb to it. If it's like one person, right, you have to do it for yourself. You know, like you have to be that one person to tell yourself like, you cannot be toxic to yourself. And I know it's not easy because I do it to myself also. But get out of it, lor. Get out of it fast. Have people around you to tell you like, you know, whatever you're doing is important. Like, I'm very thankful for my partner for encouraging me all the time, like every time I'm like low and stuff like that. So it's good to surround yourself with people who, you know, will tell you that you're doing okay. Sometimes you just need to hear someone say you're doing okay and you can do it. Like quite ting, you know, that kind of feeling. And then you're like, okay, I can do it. Like, it's as simple as that sometimes, yeah. Oh yeah, what else did I say here? This is damn funny. I was like, I put here, in the future you really want to look back and be like, what did I spend my life doing? Just working like a dog? I really wrote that. But it's true. Like, you don't want to be like, when you're old and you're like, oh my god, I just spent my entire youth slaving my life to a company. Like, for what? You know what I mean? Or slaving your life to doing things that I don't even want to do, you know? In maybe not work, maybe in just life, you know? Like, that's so funny. I can't believe I wrote it like that. Yeah, it's like, I wrote here, I didn't even go out and experience anything. Like, no, right? You don't want to experience that, right? Yeah, you want to experience life, you know? Don't be so sad. It's okay. Like, move on. And I think this stemmed from like me watching a lot of like TikTok videos of like people doing street interviews with like older people, right? Then they ask them like, what will you tell yourself when like you're younger? And a lot of them said like, go out, do things that you really want to do, like travel. Like, it's okay if you're broke. Like, you will never experience that moment of like traveling even though you're on a budget before. Like, when you're young, you can do all these things. You know, when you're old, you can travel. You got a lot of money, right? You can travel when you're old, but you're not in the condition to do like very adventurous travel. For example, like I just went Iceland recently for like 14 days in a car camping trip. You tell me when I'm 50, can I do that? I die also cannot do. I will probably stay hotel lah. Like, I wouldn't be able to like set up a tent every day and do all these things. Like, it's just like at an older age, like yes, you have more money, but will you have the same experiences that you have when you're young? No lah. Yeah, so it's more so like giving you the encouragement to like not give up and just do whatever you want to do when like you're younger. You know what I mean? I say this as someone who works myself to my bones. But as I grew older, I really learned to focus on prioritizing myself. Like, and I really know I cannot overpromise, cannot overwork, cannot overcompensate. Like, just know how much you can do for yourself. Yes, and this video shall be that reassurance that you potentially need if you're feeling down. I hope that this video can be that for you. And yeah, I think that summarizes like whatever I want to talk about today. Let me know if you have your own experiences in the comments below. And do disclaimer again, I am not discrediting anybody's like jobs or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to offend anyone here, okay? It's just like how I feel towards the situation. So yeah, take everything with a pinch of salt, yeah? Okay? And thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Like, thank you so much for the comments on all my previous videos. Like, really, 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 really very grateful. And I'm very glad that you guys are enjoying this so far. So yeah, I'll see you on my next episode. Bye!